There's our Ric Flair.
Woo!
Do you watch MMA at all?
Yeah, some.
You watch Chael Sonnen? Like old Chael Sonnen clips? He was like the Ric Flair of MMA. He was the first, before Conor McGregor, like he was the first guy who actually like put on theatrics and talk trash. But he is like 100% Ric Flair of MMA.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you should. I'm going to send you some clips. He's awesome. He retired, but he was so good.
Yeah, send them to me. There was like something going on today in Saudi Arabia. Wasn't there like WWE or something? Some sort of
Was there?
martial arts and something? Yeah, it's like some big thing. I don't know. It was like 200 degrees over there. Anyways, what's up, everybody? Welcome to In the Chaos. My name is Brad, and that is Fat Man Zoom. The stock market is crazy and chaotic, and we made it our mission to help you guys own it. It's been a great day today so far. All kinds of stuff going on today. We got earnings that we're going to be giving reactions to Snap, as well as Boston Beer Company, all kinds of other stuff. And we're going to give some reactions to this morning's earnings, as well as yesterday evening. You guys saw that we gave our reaction to Tesla, so we're just going to follow up on that as well. And it's Freddie Day. Freddie's in the house. We'll bring him in just a few. But, bro, let's set him up with the starting five.
Savvy Money Show. Eric, Sean Ethier, Cambiz, and Jeff Panica, you are starting five. As Brad mentioned, we got some good stuff, guys. And I'm particularly excited because after hours, Sam Adams, I'm in it. I'm in it deep.
Yeah. Yes.
And you're actually going to see me dance or you're going to see me cry.
Yeah.
After hours. I think it's unlikely that it'll be flat.
You're in leaps in that, right?
Yeah, I'm in leaps. January 2023.
Okay.
So, but it was a very dangerous play, just given the levels. But we'll get into all that special stuff. Definitely stick around, guys. After yesterday, yesterday was Tesla, and we'll talk about that. But this is the day I'm most excited about. I think we got the most action, the most opportunity for volatility. Stay tuned for that. But you want to bring our boy Freddie in?
Let's do it.
All right, welcome, Freddie Valois.
Hey.
What is going on, guys? What's going on, Chaos Crew? I hope everybody's out there living La Vida Loca, because I know I am, all right? Men are wearing purses, and it's okay. I love it. I'm for it. I don't like carrying things in my pocket, all right? I got vaccine cards, I got pens, I got fucking, I want to buy a gun just because I can fit it in there now. All of a sudden, because of a purse, I just want to carry around weapons. It's great. The first time I ever saw one was 10 years ago. My father, he was a bodybuilder, and he also went to prison for 18 years. So I don't know. I feel like he built a nice foundation for going into prison there. But the first time I ever saw a man purse was when he got out, and he's one of these, like, he's a machismo, old school Hispanic man, very manly. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fuck with them. I'm gonna get under his skin. So I'm like, nigga, you a bitch. You got a purse. You got a purse, you little bitch. And then he pulls a gun out of his purse. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Oh, sir. I was like, I was being closed-minded. You just helped my world perspective there. So since then, the pussification of the man purse was already demystified. When your life's in the balance, things kind of change, My dad, he went to prison for 18 years for trafficking cocaine. He really looked up to Ronald Reagan that way. He was a true American. Trafficked tons of cocaine into the United States. I feel like cocaine was the startup of the 80s, bro. It was the same energy, same tech startup, cocaine startup, same energy. Yeah, it was good stuff. He went to prison for a while. Then my mom remarried a guy who's now a retired NYPD officer. She ain't got no type, right? That was like a nice overcorrection there. Great guy. But I always think about that. I'm like, I feel like there's like some weird Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing going on, right? Because like genetically I'm a gangster, right? But I was raised by a cop. Like I think about it, like what if one day I get the urge to rob every single person in this whatever building I'm in? That'd be crazy. But what would be even crazier is that I'm afraid that on my way out I'd shoot an unarmed black man. That's one of the more taboo jokes from my act, and I did it this weekend in Wilmington, which is like America country, and usually if it's a more right-leaning crowd, it's more quiet. And I got some laughs and some groans, and then it got quiet, and then someone farted. I thought it was, which I was like, because conservatives are usually more polite than liberals, So I could totally see them like totally respecting free speech, but needing to say something, like that's like that's code for all lives matter. Just like all right, that's my time, guys.
it's like instead of it's like crickets. Just
Yeah. He's like, I had to say something, Martha, like telling his wife that day how he
I
stood
feel
up
like
for
that's
America.
good to have as a stand-up comedian, like just a plant in the crowd that if it's just quiet, they fart. I feel like that's a great way to distract them.
Agreed. Yeah. Most comics don't like being heckled, but I'll take a fart heckle any day. That if you don't like my comedy and you're just farting, that's all you. That's America.
I just have a general question because we talked on the phone earlier, but I haven't seen you in a minute. And I just have a couple like observations. One, the unbuttoned game I'm loving. Just one less button each time.
Yeah. You got to bring it in subtly.
And you got the gun show going on. Like it's almost like a blouse shirt, which I mean that with the greatest amount of respect.
Yeah.
But your forearms are about as big as your biceps. And I don't know what you're doing, but I haven't seen you like this in a minute.
Dude, I switched it up, dude. I don't know. I've just been eating and I've just been lifting. So that's it. I can't stop eating. So I might as well just try to lift to try to counteract it. So
nah, I like the look, man. You seem light. You seem light.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I've been feeling really good. Been living La Vida Loca.
The housekeeping says, love me some fanny pack gun packing.
Yeah, we out here.
We have Ivan Broski said a kid in my high school used to sell coke and now he's a cop, which I feel like those are the best type of cops. Right?
Like, true, yeah. The ones that were on the dark side and now they're
Yeah.
More importantly, though, we haven't talked to you about this, but Tim in Michigan asked, has this dude bought a stock yet?
I have bought a stock yet. I definitely did. I bought 5.
We bought 5. Shit.
Yeah, I bought. I think it was 4 stocks, 5 stocks. It was Apple, Lulu, Realty Income. Fucking. There was a couple other ones in there, but we spread it out.
Yeah. That's awesome. Did you buy Crocs too or no?
No, I didn't buy Crocs, dude. I didn't fucking
the
buy
one
Crocs.
he was supposed to buy.
I know.
Yeah. I thought the plan was just to throw the whole 1,000 on Crocs, which I would have done. But
did you it was like Under Armour or Nike? Or no, you said you did Lulu, right?
Yeah, I did Lulu.
Okay. Well, it's just another good lesson. Listen, I don't want to make you feel bad, but if you would have just put all 1,000 in Crocs, you'd have been sitting pretty. We advise against that in general, but you would have been sitting pretty.
Yes, you would have been.
It's all right. I like hypothetically winning too.
Crocs had earnings today, and it shot up 12% at one point. It's still up pretty good today so far.
Which we're going to get into.
Yeah, we are going to get into, but I'm just saying, like it's still up, over 9% just today.
Yeah. So,
nice. So I'm looking at the Chaos Crew here is put me on game. So Tesla, Sam, I'm gonna buy some more tomorrow morning. So yeah, throw your picks in there.
Yeah, throw them in the chat.
What you should do is, based on whatever they throw in, you should do research and pick a few, and we can go on live and we could sort of do the bull and the bear case.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
So let's get right into it, bro. First topic, actually, I'm going to toss it over. The first topic is Netflix, but within that topic, we have a few different subtopics. I'm going to let Brad handle the Chappelle stuff. We're going to talk Squid Game, and we're going to talk online gaming, which is tied to that. So why don't you go ahead and take the Chappelle side of things?
Yeah. So if you guys, obviously have seen that there's been some issues with Netflix and obviously, it hasn't really affected the stock much. In fact, Netflix went through all-time highs today, like monstrously. But this may impact the stock. There was a walkout yesterday. There was a transgender person that got fired for leaking information about and related to information on the Chappelle show and how it's been impacting the company and all that good stuff. And Freddie, as a comedian, I really kind of wanted to get your perspective on this because, obviously it's always kind of been that like comedy in and of itself was almost immune to offending people, right? Because if you're a good comedian, you're making fun of everybody, including yourself. And Dave Chappelle makes fun of himself just as much as anybody. But when it came to this specific topic, when it relates to transgenders and that community, LGBTQ community, they really took offense to this, and it's obviously blown up in his face and in the face of Netflix in particular. Just kind of want to get your thoughts on this and what you think Netflix should do, or if you don't think they should do anything.
I think the move they made was unprecedented, I would say, at this point, when this whole like cancel culture war, or whatever you want to call it. Like the CEO of Netflix came out publicly 2 or 3 times in the last 10 days and said they're not taking the special off. The special itself, I thought, was very funny. Was it as funniest? No, but that's okay. It was still very funny. But I think more importantly, what it did was it put this whole cancel culture thing on some weird like tipping point, or at least could possibly have even pushed it over with the actions that the CEO of Netflix took. Because I've never seen that before, where the CEO of a company that big stands up, puts his foot down, and says, "No, we're not." There's different viewpoints. So I thought that was amazing. So all things considered, I think it was a 10 out of 10 just because how it affected the culture.
Well, we could almost spend a whole episode on the Netflix situation. It's just as it pertains to Dave Chappelle. Let's not forget that Netflix went to bat for Dave Chappelle when they picked up the Chappelle Show. You remember? And Chappelle basically put it out there like, yo, I'm not getting paid for this. And Netflix stood behind Chappelle. And so that was also unprecedented. So my thought that I keep thinking about with this, there's a couple of things. One is, kudos to Netflix, regardless of where you stand in it. It's cool to see the support they have for Chappelle. But on top of that, or like having a position, whatever position is, and you stand in it and you don't back off of it. Not to say they won't, but it doesn't look like it. But the other thing is, what does this mean for Netflix as a company? Because I would argue this helps it. And you've talked about this, Freddie, polarizing content. It doesn't matter if it's good or it's bad. How many people are just watching it? For me, I haven't seen it yet, but this isn't, I would have seen it eventually, but this is sort of pushing it up the queue as far as what I got to watch. What did they say?
Yeah,
we got to watch it.
It makes me want to watch it that much more.
Yeah.
And so, and in that sense, why would Netflix want to get rid of it?
So creating this polarizing situation benefits Netflix, I would argue.
Could be why it's moving today.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into why it's moving today.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think that should be an interesting piece of it. But certainly the other thing is, Freddie, you probably remember this. Pretty much every special that Dave Chappelle does, this happens. This isn't new. His last special, the same thing. There are communities that come out that are outraged about it. And it's sort of the same process. This has happened multiple times before, particularly for Chappelle.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost gotten to a point now where getting quote unquote canceled or going through the process of being called out for your thing, it's almost a stepping stone now to becoming famous. There's a new special that came out by another comic, the guy that got fired from SNL 2 years ago, Shane Gillis. It's on YouTube. It's amazing. And it's almost like, thank God it happened at the right time, because that almost helped his career. It helped, I feel like, the numbers on this special. So it's almost, especially if you're giving a balanced take on thing, like if you're not 100% agreeing with the agenda of whatever thing, that's when they want to come after you. So it's almost like if they are coming after you, you probably have a well-balanced take. I feel like a lot of times.
Well, here, like, and this is just a thought off the top of my head. When you go into like a roast, right? You're going into it planning on getting, insulted, and it's funny, and that's what makes it funny. And like, that's what comedy usually is all about. It's just, you're just going to go in there and make fun of everybody because that's what makes it funny. And that's what Chappelle is extremely good at. That's what any good comic is good at, is you're just making fun of everybody. And you could argue that it's all inclusive in that way. So, I don't know. I just thought, I just didn't get it. I didn't get why, it was, people got offended because it wasn't like he was singling out any one person. It was just everybody that he was going after.
And the John Gruden incident proves his joke. The joke that they're all pissed off about, that whole, John Gruden's emails, whatever, proved that. Like, so it was good timing on that. It's almost like it was written.
Yeah, it's like scripted.
Yeah. It's definitely a layered topic, and it's, one that it's easy to go down the rabbit hole and
Yeah,
it's easy to go
yeah.
deep into it. But it should be interesting to see how that plays as far as this ongoing saga. The other thing to bring up as far as Netflix is concerned, bro, we talked about this with Squid Game.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about Squid Game on two levels. Squid Game in general, I just wanted to get Freddie's general thoughts. Have you seen Squid Game? And what are your thoughts on it?
Oh yeah, saw Squid Game. It was great. You know, it's a fun thing to watch and be like, what the fuck would I do in this situation? Like you almost forced to be immersed because it's such a shitty situation. And it was a good good symbolism for society and all that. So yeah, very good writing. It was awesome. Korean content is popping.
I saw a statistic last night that 65% of all Netflix subscribers have watched at least one episode so far. And the amount of subscribers that have watched the season all the way through outnumber, what was it, Peacock and some other subscription service as well, combined. It was, I can't remember.
Was it Peacock, HBO, and Apple TV?
Yes. Yeah. So it's just an insane number. And we've been talking about it all week. And obviously Netflix, we can take a look at Netflix and it's been going crazy. But yeah, bro, I mean, it's just been one of those things where it's just kind of taken over the world. I mean, we thought Tiger King was one of those shows that kind of like grabbed everybody's attention, and this just blew like all of them away. What was the other one? Bridgerton was like the top dog as far as shows watched by Netflix subscribers, and Squid Game just blew it away.
Yeah, Bridgerton had 86 million in the first 28 days, and then I think Money Heist had 59. Bridgerton had 86. They were number one, and then freaking Squid Game comes in over the top, 111 million in the first 28 days.
Wow. It's just wild.
Now, a thing I don't know if you guys out there in Chaos Crew land, you guys remember me saying this, and Brad, we talked about this, but interesting note from CEO, what he said during the earnings call, and I quote, so they talk about developing video games based on Netflix content. He says, imagine 3 years from now and some future Squid Game is launching, and it comes along with an incredible array of interactive gaming options, and it's all built into the service. We've talked about this, guys. A lot of analysts were like unsure of the Netflix going towards gaming and how would they compete.
Yep.
And we said this, Brad, and this is exactly what their plan is. And I think it's genius where they're going to use original TV and film content to basically be the catalyst for the video game streaming. So they don't need to compete against like Fortnite or whatever. They're just leveraging their titles and extending the lifespan of it. And so one of the things that I'm excited about is like what happens here now is the content is just an advertising piece for the game, which I think is going to be incredible. So Squid Game as a game, you got the first 111 million. That was 28 days. Imagine a year from now they launch a game. What happens if to that excitement? I would play Squid Game. So that was released recently, and I think that attributes a lot to the upside of Netflix and people seeing, okay, this is what we can do.
Yeah.
And so one of the things I'm interested to see is what other revenue streams opportunities come from content beyond just watching the shows. Now we have games, and what else can it be, Freddie?
Yeah, I mean, I like this move because it feels like kind of like G.I. Joe, Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. A lot of those cartoons were started to sell toys. So this is, to me, it looks just like an evolved version of that. I think
I was just about to, sorry, I was just about to say that, like, this could translate into children's content or like, just kids content, even like teenage content and stuff like that, ones that they're probably going to target for games. So if they can get a show like to blow up in the same type of fashion as like a Squid Game for younger kids, that could be a huge revenue driver for them. So yeah, it's definitely some compelling stuff, and it's just crazy that we were literally just talking about it, and out comes the CEO with it.
Well, and I think this is what's not talked about enough, and we need to hammer the drum on this. The opportunity is with kids content. Kids content is fine, but they have such huge upside for kids content. They haven't, as far as I know, they haven't really had that blow up kids content. And we know by all the other companies we look at, you look at Disney, you look at Snapchat, you look at these companies, it's about getting the younger generation and getting them early on. And so if they can do that and start creating toys, like the sky's the limit. The other thing I wanted to say to you, Brad, was the bear note for Netflix was a slowdown in US subscribers.
Yeah.
But internationally, specifically Korea, the numbers are huge. And I think that's a little bit of overreaction, because I think it's kind of ethnocentric to look at just the US and be like, oh, it's not slowing the US. I'd rather look at 150 other countries and grow there.
Yeah.
If I'm Netflix, I'm fine with whatever organic growth I have in the US, and I'd prefer to grow in other countries. Look at Zoom. Their move last year with the 40% run up had to do with international, had nothing to do with domestic. So I think that's an overreaction on the US. And I wouldn't focus on the US if I was Netflix. I would allow the US to just do what it does and just grow internationally, because there's so many more people internationally.
Well, that's just it. Like, you're going to run out of US subscribers at some point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
you have to be able to expand
Yeah.
in that fashion. I mean, can you imagine, really having the same type of growth and experience that in India?
Yeah.
Someplace where it would be massive for Netflix to capitalize on. And we're starting to see that with South Korea. And so if we start, or if Netflix starts expanding in that direction, then it's going to run into areas like India and further out. So, they've already made such a huge impact in Europe and stuff like that. So yeah, this is just makes sense. And I don't think there's anything to be bearish about as far as that's concerned.
Now, Jeff Panika said, I like squid ceviche.
That was funny.
All right, so let's move on to the next topic. Tesla. We don't need to belabor this. I'm going to try to do a video on this weekend. Tesla earnings, and bro, today's just about giving credit to Fat Man Zoom. What did Tesla open up at today?
It opened up at 855.79.
All right, so yesterday we gave our predictions just for fun. So we did the open, and then what does it close at on Friday? And for Tesla open, I said 859. So I was the lucky winner there. And then we're still in play for tomorrow, 913. What is Tesla at currently?
Currently, Tesla is at 893.85.
It pretty much did what we had anticipated, which was open up red.
Yeah.
But then I will say I didn't anticipate it coming back this quickly. I thought it may take like a day, but it all of a sudden goes on a run, and really it's about the analyst just basically
had a bunch of upgrades.
Upgrading it and regurgitating this out. If you listen to the earnings call, let me just give you the snapshot. I'll go deeper into this, but let me give you the snapshot. They are hella bullish on everything. Now, I'll start with the bear. Cybertruck is still delayed, and they're basically, Cybertruck is their focus to get out after Y and X ramp up.
Yeah.
Cybertruck, it's clear they have to release it in 2022, and it looks like that's all they're pushing for. The $25,000 vehicle was supposed to be 2023. They were really shaky about that, so I doubt that's 2023.
Yeah.
That would be the only thing I would say would be an issue. As we expected, they tempered expectations with supply chain, but they said better than other companies, right? Like they implied that. I don't know, they say that, but it wasn't as bad as they thought. And they essentially said for almost a decade, they're expecting 50% year over year delivery growth.
That's insane.
Which would put it in upwards of, they said 20 million, they would get it to 20 million, but if it's a decade of 50%, it would get it upwards of 40 million or whatever. So if they get to 20 million vehicles delivered by like 2030, think about that.
Yeah.
They haven't even had a year where they've delivered 1 million vehicles.
Right.
So for those of you guys out there that are in Tesla, you should feel really good if it's in your long-term investing account. So Tesla is going to continue to fly high. And Elon wasn't on the call like we suspected. It was their CFO and I forget who the other person was, but it was their CFO. And they reiterated what he said about the Model Y being the number one selling vehicle. That wasn't apparently just Elon talking out of his ass. That's their goal.
Yeah.
So Tesla, when they say something, it might take a little bit longer than expected, but typically they deliver on what they say.
Yeah. And that's really impressive. If they pull that off, the sky's the limit as far as Tesla's concerned. I mean, you can make the arguments that fundamentally it is extremely overvalued, and there's no disputing that. But the investors that are behind this at this point, you just can't deny that. And we start seeing numbers like that, it's just going to continue to blow up. The 3,000 number, that price target that Kathy Wood put on it, won't be that far fetched. Won't be as crazy as it sounds.
Yeah. So technically, what are you looking at? Obviously, it just continues to roll. If you wanted to get into it, like where is the opportunity here?
I don't know where the opportunity is right now. I really don't. I mean, we've talked about this. I think that it seems like it wants to come back down into this ascending channel here. And I tried to make a day trade out of Tesla and failed horribly, just an FYI. But from a long-term standpoint, it's still in my long-term account, so we're good. But I think that if we see this break up above 900, it came in hit $900 on the dot, got rejected. But $900.40. So we were 40 cents away from all-time highs today. Unfortunately, did not hit that. It's not looking like it's going to do that today either. Maybe tomorrow, we shall see. But if it does correct back into this ascending channel here, back into this trend, I would say that maybe that would be the opportunity to grab it. If it comes back down to the low 800s, I probably would consider scooping that up with both hands. So we'll see. I mean, I think that we could see a pretty strong breakout over that all-time high of $900.40. If it does not break that, though, and continues to kind of sell off here, some profit taking takes place, then I would expect it to fall somewhere within this channel at some point in time.
Yeah. So excited about Tesla, man. That was huge. And we had mentioned it. I do believe that this may be sort of the extreme volatility of Tesla may be a bit behind us, because we see a clear path moving forward, and things are sort of settling out from the perspective of operations. So I think we're going to continue to see more consistent organization with Tesla. It doesn't mean if there's a hiccup, if there's supply chain issues, that could cause volatility, but like just the random crazy moves, I think those are behind us.
Yeah.
Profit taking is going to come someday, people. That's something different. So exciting stuff for Tesla. Another company we're excited about, another prediction, was Crocs.
Yes.
Crocs reported earnings. They smashed it. I don't know if that's a surprise. I don't think it's a surprise. Estimates, earnings per share were $1.88, came in at $2.47, Brad. Revenue estimates were $610, came in at $626. They beat on both. Now, actually, revenue was down from last quarter, which surprised me a little bit because, as Brad's going to show, it went off. They did $641 million last quarter, so it was down, but they raised outlook. I'll be honest, I think that this earnings move up, I honestly don't think it's that warranted, because they only slightly raised outlook. But so that's from a short-term perspective. I'd be a little bit weary of getting into this. I'd wait for this stock for sure.
Yeah.
But from long-term, their growth is absolutely phenomenal, Brad. They are, just to give you, revenue was up 73% year over year, and they're expecting revenue growth 63%. So the numbers are just monstrous. And I know it sounds crazy, but this might be a better company than Nike.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I would say better company than Nike, but the growth certainly could be better than Nike for sure. You look at the PE ratio of something like Crocs, it's sitting at 21, and Nike's is at 43. So I think that there's definitely a lot more upside to something like Crocs versus Nike. And we've talked about on Stockwatch Sunday about how the sales or the profit margin, the gross profit margin was at 60%, which blows Nike away. It blows Under Armour away, really the rest of their competition. So, I mean, some folks are making jokes this morning in our level 3 live stream for our Chaos Crew folks that, of course their profit margins are huge because the materials are just foam, just jokingly making that. But you look at it and, the materials probably don't cost them that much, but people are still willing to pay $60, $70 for these Crocs, and they're paying even crazier amounts for the gibbets and everything else you put on them. So.
And I don't want to get this lost, because I want to clarify this, because a company makes more money doesn't mean it's a better company. Their growth is key.
Yes.
I really believe that they're going to be a bigger company than Nike one day.
Wow.
I think they have the setup for that because of this. You can, first of all, Crocs is really agnostic in general. Nike is not. Now, Nike has obviously women that are interested in it, but it's a male dominated brand. When you think about Jordans,
I'd agree with that.
it's male dominated. And usually you have like one or two pairs of Nike. Being able to have multiple pairs, multiple industries, like the turnover in product is huge for companies. Like I might buy one Nike pair a year, like if I change running shoes or whatever. But Crocs, you may buy 4 or 5. And if you're in hospitality, if you're in healthcare, you're buying multiple products and you're going through that. I'm sure Freddie sees Crocs all the time. But then you think about the accessories, which is probably huge margin. Guys, I know it sounds crazy, but rate of growth, that's an easy prediction. Rate of growth, Crocs already crushes Nike and is going to continue to crush Nike. The question is, will it surpass it in revenue? It seems far off, but I'm telling you, I think it's a yes, and I think it's international in the growth story is going to be the key for it.
Yeah. I mean, make a compelling argument. I love that. Bold predictions. That's what we're all about.
Yeah. And I mean, now that I got Crocs, I got to be on board with it.
Yeah. So, Freddie, I got my man some Crocs yesterday.
Do you have them on you now? Whoa. Ooh, I like those.
Look at that color pops.
It does.
I love that.
Got the strap.
Yeah, I'm down with that. I've been
They
doing a lot of
can't see it, but
mushrooms
there's
lately.
fuzzy inside.
Yeah, it's a fleece liner inside.
Wow. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wouldn't listen. If you're looking at Nike, if you're looking at some apparel, sports brand, if you're looking at retail, you're looking at Nike, if you're looking at Lululemon, if you're looking at Under Armour, I think you look at Crocs as well, and you forget about what your sentiment on the brand is. If you just look at the companies, it's tight. So listen, if you love Nike, I would get Nike.
Yeah.
But if you're just looking at it from sort of a business perspective, man, Crocs is just something else.
It
man.
really is. It really is. So all good stuff from reactions from earlier today. Now to get on to today. Sam and Snapper are two that we're keeping an eye on. Fatman Zoom had expressed that Sam is something that he's actually in.
And Chipotle.
And Chipotle. Oh, you're in Chipotle too?
No. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure we have that one as well.
Okay. So right now, after hours, Sam is just up slightly, and then also Snap is also up just a hair. Nothing too crazy. So as those numbers come in, I'm sure we'll start to see some more volatility there. But Sam's actually been moving up a little bit. We called the bottom here. Let's go back out to the daily.
Call the bottom until tomorrow.
Yeah. We called the bottom at 496. Although, admittedly, this is probably our fifth bottom that we called.
Did we? I feel like it hasn't been on the watches that much.
It was there in the beginning after their first.
Oh yeah.
After the earnings, I thought maybe 650 was going to be it. Sure as shit, it was not. And then came down.
I'll pull it up. Well, yeah, but we also said that was the risk there. That was a perfect example of a watch list. Just watch it.
Yeah.
I just want to set the stage real quick for those of you who weren't here for the last earnings, why it's down so much. Basically, their last earnings.
Yeah.
Their last earnings were abysmal. I don't want to say abysmal, but basically, long story short, they shit the bed on hard seltzer. So they got to come back strong with that.
And as we are talking, Sam,
I'm not happy yet.
Sam's up 2%.
That looks like a nice super boner.
We got a boner candle in the works here. So Sam,
woo, flesh rocket.
Sam's
That's such an flesh rocket is just such a good phrase, but so incredibly uncomfortable.
It's terrible.
Oh man, that sounds like a superhero name.
Flesh rocket, yeah.
All right, I don't see numbers yet. We'll get them.
No numbers on that yet, but Sam is up 2%.
I hate when I don't see numbers and it moves up.
Yeah,
because then it's like, all right, I usually then see numbers that goes down.
Yeah.
You guys know when you're in the stock, it always fakes you out and then you end up red 5% the next day. Who's with me?
Yeah. All right.
Sam needs a 525 break. Where is the Where is the resistance for Sam? Is there a resistance for Sam in the short term?
It's come down so far. I would say the first sign of resistance would probably be somewhere around 555, 550, which means it's probably still got some room to run if it wants to, if these earnings are actually pretty good. I meant to ask you, Freddie, do you have Crocs?
No. Do I own Crocs? No, I don't have the stock or the product.
Okay. I'm just gonna put this out there. So I don't have a pair of Crocs myself either, but I did try on Fat Man Zoom's Crocs before I gave them to him. They're pretty fucking comfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
How did it feel to be in a size 12?
Jesus Christ. I wear a size 11. It's not like I wear an 8.
It's a big difference, right? You're like, wow, these are roomy.
Yeah. A lot of extra heel space.
Was it like a double XL, triple XL t-shirt? Just swimming.
Jesus Christ.
I just feel like that would make you feel a certain way. Like if I put on a size like 14 or 15, I might be like,
I mean, if it was like a size 14 shoe and I wear a size 11, then maybe.
I keep thinking you're a 10 and a half.
No.
Still, I mean, a whole size. Brody, what size is your shoe, bro?
13.
Oh,
Yeah.
I would never have guessed 13.
You
Yeah, 13.
freaking, wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Feel like we need a sound effect for that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of flesh rockets.
C-Buck says Magnum Crocs.
Yeah, Magnum Crocs is funny. Good job, C-Buck.
I like
Shout
that.
out to
That's
Mark
fun.
P as well. Thank you for the compliment.
Freddie, so Claudia wants to know how tall you are. We're going to guess first, and then you could tell us how tall you are. Brad, how tall do you think Freddie is?
If I had to guess, I would say Freddie's like 5'11".
I think Freddie, you're 6'1.5".
That's I'm like 6 foot and a little bit over the half, but I just say 6 foot because I'm humble, you know.
Okay, you go down. Now, if you were 5'11.5", which way would you go?
I would say 5'11.5" and be proud of it. You can't, you just gotta, we can't be lying about our weight, men, or excuse me, our height.
Yeah, Freddie's Claudia, I don't know if you thought he was taller or shorter than that, but yeah. 6 foot. How tall are you? You 6 foot, right? 6'1"?
6'1", yeah.
Yeah. It feels good to be 6 feet.
Yeah.
I
like being tall.
I'm so happy. I wasn't. No disrespect to anybody under 6 feet.
So here's the thing too. I'm actually happy with my height. My dad was 6'6".
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me that. That's wild.
I don't know if
wow.
I could handle being 6'6".
It'd be a weird ass camera angle right now.
Sure would.
Has Sam paused? What's Sam doing?
Sam right now. So we're still waiting on the numbers, correct?
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted.
No, yeah, we sure did. But Sam is not paused. We're still waiting on those numbers. It's up 1.5%.
I'll check it on Snap, which I think should have some good volatility, and Chipotle, which we don't talk about enough. I love Chipotle, the stock.
Yeah.
And Don's in Chipotle as well. Shout out Don Francho.
Chipotle, yeah, no reaction there either. Snap is not moving either. So still just waiting on those numbers as well. As soon as we have them in, we'll certainly pass those along to you guys. But we got 124 of you guys hanging in. So we certainly appreciate you being a part of the show. If you guys could hit that thumbs up, we certainly would appreciate it. We got 40 without me even asking. So that's pretty awesome. If you guys could get those likes up and help support the channel, we certainly would appreciate it. Speaking of supporting the channel, if you guys would like to get a watch list from us, and not trying to be biased or anything, but we do crush that watch list every single day. We put one out before the market opens. We also have we also give you access to my portfolio, trade alerts, our community and Discord, all that good stuff. If you become part of the Chaos Crew by hitting the join button next to subscribe right there on your screen. So if you hit that join button, it starts at $4.99 a month. You can't beat it. We over deliver on everything. We really do. And we try to make sure that our folks are as happy as possible. So it really just helps support the channel, helps support the studio that you see behind you, and allows us to keep this thing running. So if you guys want all that good stuff, and more importantly, just to support the channel, we appreciate if you guys become part of the Chaos crew.
Let's go ahead and just give some predictions while we wait. Man, I forgot how bad Sam's earnings were last time.
They were awful.
So, Freddie, we're going to do predictions.
Snap just dropped 5%.
Okay, let me check.
What is increase awareness? Outlook. What is increase outlook? What does that mean?
So basically, their sales forecast for the year.
Okay, cool.
So what their projections are. So if they increase, that's good because they're expecting to do more sales than originally anticipated.
Holy shit! Snap is now down 14%.
No numbers yet. Up, they're about to come in. 14%. Holy shit!
Now 15%.
Ooh. Revenue increased 57%. Net loss improved.
Oh my god! It's now down 18%. I can't keep up with it.
With Snap? That was Snap?
Yeah.
Damn.
You see that candle there, bro?
Yeah, bro. It's flaccid.
This is the opposite of a boner candle.
Yeah, that's hanging.
So poor.
Oh my god! It's now down 23%.
Year-over-year daily active users increased 20% for 4 consecutive quarters. 23% year-over-year daily active users. I don't understand what happened.
Holy shit! Damn. Still going down. I bet you Facebook. Let's take a look at Facebook. What's Facebook doing? Because a lot of these respond to that.
Good God.
Uh-oh.
Missed earnings per share. Missed revenue.
Facebook's tanking too.
Which is the opportunity.
Yeah, should be the opportunity. Snap is now down 27% after hours.
Holy shit. All right, they missed. So earnings per share estimates. Wait. Oh, this can't be right. All right, so I'm going to just say this and I'll confirm it. 8 cents a share where the estimates came in at 17 cents. Somebody else said they missed earnings per share, so we'll keep up on that. Chipotle crushed it, by the way. Sales, they missed 1.1 billion. They came in at 1.07. I don't see what is the issue, but we'll find more out. We'll find more out.
All right. So as the story develops, we'll certainly get back to you guys on that. But right now, Snap is down 25% after hours.
Woo!
And the pressure's still on here. That's crazy. But you said Chipotle had good numbers. They're up 1.25%.
Yeah. Sales jumped 22%. Higher menu items, higher menu prices offset rising cost. I don't have, earnings per share, 632 expected, came in at 702. Slightly beat revenue, 1.94 billion were expected, 1.95 billion. Beat on revenue, beat on earnings per share. Growth looks good.
Man, Chipotle is such a monster.
It is.
All it does is win.
No matter what.
And actually it's and then it'll probably put its hands up right here over 1873, which it's sitting up over now. It's at 1880. So that looks great. It's up 2% now after hours. Any word on Sam?
No, but I'm just have anxiety about something.
It's up.
Should I buy Snap?
Should you buy Snap? I mean, bro, this looks like a crazy overreaction to me.
Honestly, I would. You gotta read earnings to see what they said, because there's something in there beyond just slightly missing. Okay. I would say the look is Facebook, because Facebook was already kind of beaten down, and if it's sympathy going lower, I think Facebook's earnings in next week.
Next week, yeah.
I think this is actually a great opportunity for Facebook. We talk about risk and reward, but you could end up making out with Snap. But like, Facebook's just more reliable, and we like sympathy overreactions.
Yeah, so this is Facebook right now as it's reacting to those Snap earnings. The reason this does this, Freddie, and for anybody else who's wondering, if Snap, that's in the same industry, social media platforms, missed earnings and, the reaction is poor, usually you'll see this across the board. So if we look at something like Twitter, for example, Twitter probably is down as well. Yeah, Twitter's down 6.5%. And we take a look at Pinterest.
Okay.
Pinterest also is probably down. I don't even have to guess. Yeah, it's down 2.5%. Not as bad as the rest of them.
So here's a couple things. So they attributed their miss in revenue expectations after iPhone's privacy changes hurt their advertising business, which was the concern. that we may be starting to see now as far as like advertising revenue for company. And then some of the same stuff, global supply chain interruptions, labor shortages have hurt demand through advertising. So it seems it's the advertising story and the advertising revenue.
Yeah. Damn, that's crazy. Facebook's now trying to just very preliminary. So some buying coming back on Facebook, but Snap is still selling off. I just saw down as low as 30%.
Their average revenue per user is down 349. The expected was 367.
Wow. That is wild. That is wild. Man. What is Google doing? Also down 2%.
Oh, Lord.
Probably in response to the Apple privacy stuff too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think Sam is down too.
Sam is down just slightly, 0.15%. Nothing too crazy there.
Oh.
But
Okay.
Chipotle is still rocking and rolling here. It's now up over 2%. Oh, I spoke too soon, but it did shoot up over 2% to $18.88 per share.
I think we have Sam's numbers.
What you got?
Oh, man. Oh, they'll be in a second.
Snap's still selling off here. Yikes. Down 28.5%.
Net revenue came in at 561 million. Their estimates, I believe, were 530.
For Sam? Oh, yeah, it's still selling off now. It's down 2.5%.
530 million. So they beat on that, waiting for earnings per share.
Whew, Snap's still selling off. Now down officially 30%. I do see a couple people asking about Intel as well. Intel is also down. Whew, down 6.5%. What a rough afternoon.
Yeah, I think Sam continued with the conversation around hard seltzer, which doesn't bode well. So anyways, I just want to get these numbers out because they're important for people to know. Last earnings, revenue is expected at 657 million for Sam. It came in at 602 million, which is a huge miss. The earnings per share was expected at 668. It came in at 481.
Yeah.
So that revised everything and lowered guidance. So Freddie, like we said, if you raise guidance, that's good. Raise your forecast, increase in sales. They lowered it, which is horrific. Like normally that doesn't happen. You usually restate guidance, like keep it the same.
Yeah.
So they lowered it. And so it's pretty drastic for them to have 531 million. But they did beat. So that last quarter, they just sold off, and it looks like it could be much more of the same.
Yeah, so it came down and tested that 496, which we looked at as a potential bottom, and is now actually falling below that at 495.50. So it's down 4% after hours. Snap is still down 29% after hours. Other earnings that came out were Chipotle. That's up still 2% after hours. And then Intel also had earnings today, which we didn't necessarily cover, but that is also down 6.5% or so. Jesus. As well. So it is
I have the earnings.
Rough afternoon. What you got?
These are bad for Sam.
Oh, for Sam?
Earnings per share estimates were around 420. It came in at 297.
Oh my God.
Year over year, it was 651 last year. So to give you perspective, sales beat 530 million, came in at 561 million. So revenue beat, earnings per share missed.
Wow. So they beat on revenue but missed on earnings?
Yeah.
So that's pretty rough. And they missed earnings by a lot. So it's down 4% right now. Snap is trying to make a little bit of a comeback here. Trying to. It came down to 52.42. Let's take a look at the daily chart and see exactly where that is. So we come all the way down to $52 a share, which is all the way down here. I mean, I would say that there's potential for it to try to test this $49 area, which I don't know. Let me come back out to the 1 minute and see. 52.42 is what I said. So we come back out to the daily chart. It may try to, I mean, it's starting to get bought up right now though, too. We'll see. But 52 is kind of right around here. We saw it down at those levels at around in May, around the middle of May. So that's how far it's come down. I mean, we saw it as high as just a few weeks ago at $83, and then it's come back down to the levels we saw in May. It's pretty wild stuff. As it is trying to get bought back up here. Lots of volume coming in for after hours on Snap. That is just craziness. People keep talking about DWAC. Isn't that the Donald Trump
It's back.
SPAC? Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, yeah, you could start to see this move, but it's up 356% today. It's not a chance in hell I'm touching that. Don't care what it is. Anyhow, Snap is trying to make a little bit of a comeback. Maybe. This is definitely something that I probably wouldn't bother touching until we see what happens tomorrow. What do you think?
Sorry, say that again.
This probably would be something that I wouldn't touch until see what it does tomorrow.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I was just trying to get numbers on some Boston beer numbers, but Snow says seltzer isn't a big part of their business. Well, seltzer was the fastest growing segment of their business, and obviously you have cash cows like Sam Adams for Boston Beer. You have Sam Adams. You have their seasonal beers.
Yep.
But the reality is that those type of companies, like, the difference between value and growth is you want new line items. Like, that's what gets people excited.
Yeah.
So it doesn't need to be the most important product, but adding that growth is huge. So that's the story. And seltzer has just been ridiculously popular. Go to any bar. That's what people are drinking. So yeah, I mean, that there was huge growth in that, and Truly was one of the leaders and is not anymore. Massive slowdown in that. Don also said my Snap play with shares. If it pops, the strategy was if it pops, sell. If it sells off, sell contracts against it. But what contracts am I going to be selling? Because it went down so low.
Yeah. Sam is trying to bounce back a little bit. It was down, what did I say, around 5%, and now only down around 3 1/3. So some buying starting to return on that. Speaking of buying and returning, there is some return on Snap as well. It's only down 25 and some change percent. Whew.
Yes, no, it definitely feels oversold, and we felt that way. Sometimes just the well, let's remember that they crushed it over COVID.
Talking about Sam.
Yeah, sorry, Sam. They crushed it over COVID, and so they had a massive run up. You can't forget that. And so they were firing all cylinders, massive growth, and this you can't miss. Especially a company like Sam, you can't miss, and you can't miss by that much. I mean, these are horrific numbers. I agree with you. This is for leaps. I still feel good about them. I think there's going to be a great opportunity for it, but this was another bad miss. And until they have a strong beat and increased optimism around the future, it's going to be more of the same.
Yeah.
So I took a flyer on this. I thought they were going to be able to turn it around. This was going to be an important earnings, and they laid an egg again.
They sure did. Ivan Broski asked, why did Facebook sell off? We touched on this when Snap just reported earnings, right after they reported earnings. It's responding to the Snap earnings. So Snap basically kind of laid an egg themselves. Monthly active user revenue was down. They missed on revenues, you said? Didn't they miss on revenue slightly?
Beat 17 cents a share, earnings per share. They beat 8 cents, and then they missed on revenue.
And then cited some of the issues that they were experiencing with Apple, and when it relates to privacy constraints and that sort of thing. And so if Snap's going through those problems, many investors believe that some of the other social media platforms could go through the same thing. So that's why we're seeing Facebook down 6.5%, Twitter's down 7%, Pinterest is down 2.5% or so. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be something that certainly will continue to be a topic of conversation. But I do think that this is a bit of an overreaction on Snap. And I think that we will see this, no pun intended, snap back. But it's just a matter of when.
Where's Snap at dollar-wise?
It's at $56 right now.
Freddie Don said, my zone is 5150 to 5350. Grab a few. If you're down, he'll cover your losses.
For
Ooh,
Snap?
He's good for it.
For Snap?
for Snap, yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. You ain't got to do that. I appreciate the gesture. I trust you.
Bro, take him up on it. You could pay it forward some other day, some other
All
time.
right.
In the future.
Thank you, Fat Man Zoom. Now let me be too nice here. I'm not.
Yeah, don't be too nice.
No.
The market is cutthroat. I forgot. I got to be.
Now go buy some Snap.
All right. I'm gonna buy some Snap tomorrow, dude. I'm fucking buying Shiba Inu.
Oh God.
Buy.
NFTs.
You remember you got that 10% of the account for
Yeah.
speculative.
Yeah.
And then you got your sugar daddy Don Fran
That's right.
bankrolling you as well.
That's right.
I like that. 5150 to what? 53? Something like that.
Yeah.
Right now it's starting to climb back up here a little bit. It's sitting at 57 almost. So man, it's it might be staging a comeback here. We'll see.
I wish I could find the comment, but somebody asked about Snapchat in the comment, and I forget what they said. They thought it was attributed to. It's the advertising revenue. That's the issue. Like,
Yeah.
the issue is, I mean, that's the key for these companies. Like Facebook wins because it has a ridiculous amount of advertising revenue, which is extremely low expense. Like the profit margins on ad revenue are ridiculous. So that's how they win. So Snapchat, when they talk about, hey, we're struggling getting, basically they said, this is our peak season for our clients. And the clients are the advertising companies. The clients, be clear. Users are not the client for Snapchat.
Users of the product.
Yes. So as far as the clients are the advertisers. And so average revenue per user, yes, it's the user there, but the advertising and the advertisers are their clients, and who they work for is no different than TV. And so they're saying their clients, the advertisers in these businesses, are usually going in their peak season, but because of supply chain, they're strapped and they're tight. And so they're not spending the money they thought, on top of the Apple privacy is making it harder to reach the end user as well.
Yeah.
That's the story.
That's the story which stunts growth.
I don't know why I'm so fired up.
You did get fired up over that, but I'm here for it. I fuck with that.
Ivan Broski wants you to get a Playboy stock, Freddie. Were you a Playboy guy or a Penthouse guy growing up?
I was a whatever I can get my hands on guy, Find a page here, a page there. Yeah, you just make it happen.
I was a Playboy guy, hands down. I was just too nice. That's like Skinamax and Showtime. I was like a Skinamax guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a classy pervert.
Or HBO. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Don's beard is gone?
No way.
That's something to tune in for.
Yeah. I mean, it was like straight up terrorist looking beard.
Buy more Apple.
Yeah. Apple had an interesting day. It what's going right now? Where did it close at? Did it close green? It did close green. I'll take that.
Shout out to Claudia R, Ivan Broski, Savvy Money Show, Don Fran Show, Funny Pranks Gone Wrong, Jeff Paunica. Y'all been crushing the chat today.
Oh yeah. Super
On fire.
chatty.
Yeah.
I'm loving it. Yeah, Snap's starting to come back some. We'll see what it does after it opens up tomorrow. Sometimes we see this though. We'll see it start to get bought back up, and then everything rolls back over, and then it takes a huge giant dump on Friday. So we shall see. Just to get a recap real quick, Sam Adams, another tough quarter for them. They ended up missing earnings by a ton. We take a look at the stock right now, and it is trying to make a little bit of a comeback after it sold all the way back down to $4.95 a share, now sitting at $5.04, only down around 2.5%. So I guess that's a little bit of a recovery. Snap came in, beat earnings, but missed on revenue, and talked a lot about their growth and how that's being impacted by some of the Apple privacy concerns. Then Facebook and some of the other social media platforms also responded. And then Intel came in and mentioned chip shortages. That's still down. That's down 7.25%. Still just reeling over some of the chip shortage issues, which is interesting because some of the other chip makers like AMD, Nvidia talked about the worst being behind them. Yet here we are with Intel yet again, becoming, talking about some of the issues that their other competitors just aren't having. This has been a change of the guard with Intel, because it used to be the top dog, and now some of these other ones are coming in and they're just blowing Intel away.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know how Intel's going to come back, to be honest with you. AMD has been on fire.
Yeah.
NVIDIA's been doing great.
Right.
Screw ASML, but yeah, it's been talking about sympathy. It's going to be interesting to see how NVIDIA and AMD react as well to that as they go into their earnings.
Let's take a look at that. So AMD right now is actually green. So again, this is not shocking. So just to give you perspective, your initial thoughts would have been, well, AMD is going to sell off because Intel's selling off and this is going to impact the industry. No, the thing of it is that AMD has came out and said they think the worst is behind them. So if Intel's coming out and saying, no, they think the worst is still ahead, that bodes well for AMD and NVIDIA. And I mean, we've seen this from them before. So this is not surprising. Look for AMD to make an even bigger move tomorrow. I think that for sure happens. Don't hold me to it. I'm just guessing, but I think that it wouldn't surprise me if we saw AMD continue to take off tomorrow, because that's just what happens whenever Intel shits the bed like usual. At least it seems like over the last 18 months or so.
Ricard said Intel cannot compete with AMD and NVIDIA's leadership and strategic vision. I wholeheartedly agree with you.
Same.
I mean, yeah, you don't get better leadership. I mean, AMD is great leadership. NVIDIA, you don't get better leadership. Any CEO, bring them up.
Yeah.
So yeah, good point. AMD leaps. Claudia says, "I love how we're on the leaps train, people." That feels like another T-shirt too. I need some sort of leaps T-shirt. All right, man. I think I'm good, bro.
I am too. Freddie, thanks for hanging out with us again this afternoon. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Find me on Instagram and TikTok at Freddie Valoy. You see the name right there on the banner.
Thanks for hanging out, bro. We appreciate you.
Yeah, this is fun, guys. I missed you guys last week. I felt like there was a hole in my week. I was,
We did too. It was weird being here on Thursday by ourselves. Guys, that's going to do it for us. So as per the usual, it's Thursday, so we'll take the day off tomorrow, and we'll be back on Sunday for Stock Watch Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. We'll go over our stocks to watch for that week. It's going to be a big week. We got more earnings coming up. We got Apple, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, the big dogs. They're all going to be reporting next week, amongst all kinds of other ones. You guys know this is our favorite time of the year. To talk about earnings is in earnings. To talk about stocks is in earnings season. So we're looking forward to that. Again, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Hit that notification bell. Hit the like button. All that good stuff.
So tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we will have our options video. We're kind of playing around with times, but 10 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure you guys hit the notification bell, because we're going to premiere a video, and that's our options video. Myself and Don Fran. We're going to be discussing at the money versus deep in the money leaps, pros and cons, and when you should buy each of them. So really good video. I think you guys are going to like it. We will be in the chat for the premiere. So we'll see you guys then, 10 a.m. Eastern time.
That's going to do it for us. Bye.